I want to talk to you about what Bidtracer was built for, right? So as the name implies, Bidtracer was built to track bids, and it was used to track bids for contractors. And then it's evolved into multiple modules for contractors, for manufacturers, for distributors, for a lot of people, right? So here's the thing. Bidtracer, while it was built to track bids, we use it for a lot of things today. We use it for contractors. Manufacturers and distributors use it as a channel management tool, and now consulting engineers are using it as a tool for design. And I'll go into detail about each one of them so you understand exactly how Bidtracer operates and how it serves each of these markets and why it was created for each one of these markets. So first, let's go with the contractors. So a contractor typically, what does a contractor do? A contractor builds. How does he build? He has to get, he has to estimate a job, he has to do a job. And the job is going to take lots of material, lots of labor. He puts it together over a period of time and he builds something out. The problem that they faced is that they had 4 or 5 different tools to use. They would use a tool for estimating. They would use a tool to track their bids. They would use a tool to write their proposals. They would use, and when I say tool, I'm talking about different types of software, right? They would use a software for project management. They would use a software for tracking their sales, for engineering. So they're using 4 to 5 different tools. So you had all these disconnected tools. And in each one of these tools, you had different stakeholders. And each one of these stakeholders would input information. And each of this information stayed in silos. So there was no one single source of truth. So when you don't have a single source of truth, you have documents that are missing, you have information that is lost, you have gaps that are created that leads to risk, whereby you could lose a lot of money, right? So here were the problems. Disconnected tools, you had no single source of truth. For pricing, you would go to multiple manufacturer websites to try and get pricing from them, right? You really don't have a good sales to operations turnover. So there are a whole bunch of multitude of reasons why a contractor did not have a good tool that was helping him through the whole sales and operations standpoint. And that is why Bidtracer was built. And Bidtracer tackles every one of these tools in the correct workflow, sharing documents and sharing information among all the stakeholders on one single cloud platform. So all of the employees in the company or any of the employees that you think should have access would have access to the information. So even if an employee left, you still got access to the information. And even if an employee was on vacation or you were bringing in new employees, it is great for you to use it as a tool to train them. So in that sense, Bidtracer provides one software platform to help contractors on their sales and operations process from beginning to the end. That's for contractors. Now we'll go over to the manufacturers.